Um, all right. So fast forward a little bit. So you write this book. What happens afterwards? It's that to me. I feel like this is a pretty popular book. I'm sure that changed the way your company worked. How did that all go?
Yeah, I mean, it changed our lives. The 12-week year and its predecessor, the periodization, all of our clients since 2003, 2004 have come to us through that book or one of the variations of the book. And, and that's been now 24 years ago. So not quite 24, 23, 22, but it's been a long time. And so the book changed our lives. And when I say that, we do everything in 12-week cycles. And Brian and I, we create 12-week plans. We execute against those plans. We have, every 12 weeks, we have a planning session. And it's just how we do business. It's how I think, So in a sense, it's been 80 years since we started, 80, 12 weeks.
Yeah.
And, I think it's just kept us always focused on what's important now. And I think that's a challenge for a lot of people. What's really most important right now. And that's what it's helped us. I'm kind of wandering off your question, but, the book changed our lives because when we wrote it, most people had no idea what we were talking about. It would take forever to explain it to them. But when we wrote the short book, it really changed everything because people got a hold of it and it took off. And so people we didn't know were calling us. But what I'd say though, is if you want to write a book, it's really important to write a book that's short and that's clear and provides the value, because that book will take off. If you write a big book that doesn't, there's kind of a lot of stuff in it, but you got to dig through it to get the value. Sometimes those books don't take off, even though they may contain some really good things. And so writing the book was, we wrote it in 12 weeks. The first one, Periodization, 12 Weeks of Breakthrough. And that book has, like I said, it's changed our lives. And it's amazing what you can do in 12 weeks and that can change your life forever, which is what we did.
Yeah. It almost sounds like you're saying the length of the book is kind of a microcosm of the same goal setting.
Yes.
It's long enough to have a full thought, something you can build on, but short enough that you can get through it and be excited the whole time.
Yeah. One of our clients said it was, you could go to have 2 bathroom breaks and read the book. He's right. If you take long bathroom breaks. Yeah.
That's super cool. Have you always been a writer?
No. I mean, my English teachers, if they knew that I wrote a book that hit New York Times bestseller, they would just not believe you. They think you were lying to them. No, I've never. I mean, I like thinking. I like ideas. I love ideas, actually. I spend a lot of time thinking about them, but I usually don't write them down.
So what was it that led you to write this book? Did Brian lead the way on that one, or was that just
I think Brian, the idea of writing the book is several sources. One of our clients introduced us to the concept of periodization, which is you must know because you're training, but it's a training regimen for athletes, especially strength and endurance athletes. And so he was a bike racer, and so he told us about the concept, and then we saw that, and we realized that just a lot of the struggles we were having with our clients was sort of solved with that concept of short cycle execution, right? You set a goal, you overload your ability to execute against that goal for a short period of time, and then move to the next and the next and the next. Well, with the 12-week year, you can't take time off of work, so we adapted it. But I think the real impetus behind writing the book was Brian. It's a long time ago, but we both were pretty excited about the idea. So once it caught fire, we were both behind it. I think Brian was the initial kind of guy behind it.
When you wrote the first version of the book, did you think that it might take off the way it did? No.
We were debating putting 50 or 100 copies. There's this thing called LAMP, which is a management meeting or event or whatever happens once a year in financial services for general managers in financial services. And we were going to go to that annual meeting because we could have a booth and people would come by and we could talk about what we did. And so we decided to take books to that meeting and we were going to give them away. We weren't sure if we should print 50 or 100. So we printed 100, took a risk, and we either gave or sold all 100 copies. And, we thought that was it. Okay, that was cool. Maybe, and we're smart enough to put an order form in the back of the book. And then we started getting orders in. And then I remember one day we got the first order. I ran into Brian's office and said, "Hey, we just got an order in." But I remember we got an order for 500 books from one of our it wasn't a client at the time. They became a client later, but they ordered 500 copies of the book. And then I was getting orders of 25, 50, 150. And so all of a sudden, all these bulk orders were coming in for these companies that this book resonated with. And so we had no idea that was going to happen. I mean, we were scrambling in the beginning to fulfill the orders to figure out how we're going to do that.
Were you thinking just, oh, if this leads to a couple of relationships, that we get a few clients, it'll be worth the effort? Was that kind of the
Yeah,
big idea going? That's cool.
basically, yeah. It was just a way to get phone calls so we could close business, and we thought it was good. We always were trying stuff. I mean, everybody's got a small business is trying stuff. And that was just one of the things we tried, and that one tended to work. Yeah.